Hey everyone, I'm going to do some scene reads from the Bones of Wrath Ghosts, which is an ebook and out now, but also features in 3-bone Anthology 3, out now under my middle grade name of TK Wrathbone. Here we go with the first one, from Ghosts of Opshops Past. 10 minutes later, I turned around and walked back in to find an old man standing in the back room looking at an old peacoat on the table that was yet to be priced. "Ooh, sorry sir, you can't be back here, volunteers only." He looked up at me with old grizzled features and a white beard, not seeming to understand what I'd said. "Sir, you can't be Michelle, dear." I glanced at Winnie as she came through the door and saw her look in the direction of the old man. I turned back, but he was gone. "What the?" "What, dear?" I looked out the back door, but saw no one. "What is it, dear?" I walked into the room and shook my head. "There was an old guy here looking at that peacoat, but then he disappeared when you walked in. I really didn't know what to think." "You saw an old man, dear?" Winnie eyed me closely. Yeah, white hair and beard, really wrinkly." She nodded. "Interesting." "What is?" Now I was just plain confused. "That you saw him." I shrugged and frowned. "Wasn't I supposed to?" "No, dear, unless you have an ability to see the dead." I blinked. I stared. I blinked again. "The what?" Winnie blinked back. "The dead, dear. That man was dead, long gone. That was just his spirit hanging around because that was his coat." I looked from Winnie to the coat and back again. "What?" Her laughter tinkled through the room. "You just saw a ghost, dear. Sometimes they hang around their clothes or toys or whatever they loved that's been donated. There's quite a few of them that come through the store. This time my eyelids moved in rapid succession. "You mean this place is haunted? As in, haunted?" My voice squeaked out. "Well," she glanced away, "I'd say it's visited." "You see them? You saw him? How? Why? When?" "I have a gift," Winnie said. "I've been visited by spirits and have seen them all my life. It looks like you have the beginnings of that gift." "What?" No, Mum came in. "There you are. Time for my break now. Sharon is manning the till. Can you unload that trolley of plates and cups, please?" She ran into the bathroom and Winnie and I wandered into the store while I pushed the trolley. I glanced around nervously. "Are they here now?" "Do you see any now?" I stopped and studied the 4 people in the store, landing on the one by the mirror. "Her." I gave a slight head tilt in her general direction. "Why her?" I shrugged. "I don't know." The woman at the mirror turned and yelled out to the woman 2 rows away, and they both laughed. Winnie laughed too. "Nope, not her." And now I'm doing a scene read from Ghosts on a Plane. Someone bumped into me from behind. "Hey," I cried and turned my head. "Sorry," Pete mumbled. "I saw you walk back here and followed. What are you doing?" I saw him. I pointed to the door off the attendant's space. "He went through there, the boy I saw upstairs." "Then let's follow." Pete casually sneaked over to the door and opened it a crack. "All clear," he whispered, and I raced over to him. We closed the door behind us and found ourselves in a small space with another staircase, this time going down into the belly of the plane. "I don't know if we should do this," I whispered, but followed Pete down the stairs anyway. I got my camera ready and pulled up the recording app on my phone. I was going to get a sound or a photo either way. Staying on the lookout for staff, we tiptoed down the aisle and into the kitchen storage area. Trays of stuff were piled high on trolleys, with cartons and containers, boxes and bags and handy towels. The lights were dim, but we found our way by the safety lights. "There." I pointed into the belly of the big white beast and turned right into another passageway. "He's there, at the end." I shoved Pete ahead in the direction of the boy, and we found ourselves even more surrounded than before. Something landed on my left shoulder. "Ah!" I cried, spying a hand belonging to a man. "Ah!" Pete repeated. We spun around to see an older man in business attire. "Hello." His voice was quiet. "What are you doing here?" Pete and I clung to each other. We stuttered, scared we'd be in big trouble and get chucked off the plane just like Mum warned us about. "What time is it?" he asked. "I've been on this plane for so long." That's a strange question, I thought, and checked over the man's appearance. Old brown suit, wrinkled, with matching brown shoes. The tie around his neck was loosened and twisted to the side. His hair was unkempt and in need of brushing. His pallor was quite sickly and his eyes were tired and red and drooping. Pete checked his watch. "We've only been in the air for 3 hours. The man's dazed face showed confusion. 3 hours? What day is it? He checked his watch. Wednesday. And the date? The 17th of February. His brows furrowed. Feb the 17th? Why, I've been flying for 2 weeks. Pete and I exchanged glances. How have you been flying for 2 weeks? The man looked at me. Because I left on the 3rd of February. He looked around. What year is it? Now I frowned. Okay, def something weird going on here. 2016. He blinked slowly. What? 2016, Pete repeated. Blinking for a third time, the man exclaimed, But that can't be. It must be 1995. It's 1995, isn't it? Pete and I took a step back. Right, I muttered. It's 1995. Our mistake. Bye now. I shunted Pete down the aisle and glanced back. The man was gone. I stopped. Pete, he's gone. He must have been a ghost too. I got an eye roll in return. Well, duh. Did you see that vintage get-up he was in? He ain't from 2016. Believe me. I sighed. Let's get out of here before a human from 2016 finds us. And now I'm doing a scene read from Ghostwriter. Sam wondered if Blake was right and decided to try something when he got home. He set up the typewriter on his desk and wrote one word. Hello. He finished his homework and had dinner, then ran back to his room to see if anything had happened. Hello, Sam. Whoa! He sat down at the desk and stared at the line. It can't be. It just can't be. Hello, who are you? He typed back. I'm Thomas Freeborn. The keys typed across the page. And who's Thomas Freeborn? Sam replied. I'm a writer. I write for newspapers. What year is it? Sam typed. 1895. Whoa! Sam sat back in his seat. It can't be. No. He ripped the paper out of the plate and screwed it up and threw it into the bin. He told Blake about it the next day. It cannot be haunted. That could not have been real. I must have been dreaming it. Were you awake? Well, yeah. Then you weren't dreaming, numbskull. Then what's happening? Dude, Blake stopped him. It's haunted. Maybe you can get the ghost to write your essays. He burst out laughing and walked toward class. Sam cried. It's not haunted. But he began to have doubts when he got home. A whole page had been typed up. But it wasn't by Thomas Freeborn. It was by someone called Macintosh McCluskey. Hello, Sam. I am Macintosh McCluskey. I am a writer with the Boston Tribune, and I died at my typewriter. Do you know how I died? I died from having my head smashed into it. Do you know who did that to me? Whoa! Sam stood staring at the paper. Maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe I read the report and saw the previous owners, and now I'm imagining them writing letters to me. He ripped the paper out and threw it in the bin, and then put the typewriter back on the shelf. He had homework to do, and that old thing wasn't going to cut it. He opened his laptop and got to work. And there were some scene reads from the Bones of Wrath Ghosts, available as an ebook or in 3-bone, Anthology 3. Out now under my middle grade name of TK Wrathbone, in large print paperback, trade paperback, hardcase laminate, or dust jacket hardcover, if you prefer print, over an ebook. Out now at all good online bookstores.